Today is Saturday, September 6th, 2025, and my wife and I just got back from a week-long Alaskan cruise this morning. I wanted to talk about it briefly. This is my wife and I's, Renee and I's third cruise. We did a Royal Caribbean cruise out of Miami for just a few days to the Bahamas. That was our first kind of venture into the world of cruising to see if we liked it. We did, so we booked another cruise. We did a Norwegian cruise out of New Orleans that went to Belize, Honduras, and a couple of stops in Mexico. We rather enjoyed that. And this latest cruise was on Celebrity, the Celebrity Summit, and it was up to Alaska. We got underway in Vancouver, and we had a day going through the Inside Passage, I believe is what it's called, and then we went to Ketchikan, Sitka, Juno, and Icy Strait Point, my apology, where the town of Huna is. And then we went to go to Disenchantment Bay and see Hubbard Glacier. And then we disembarked, got off the ship in Seward, Alaska, where we then had to take a coach, an absolutely wonderful coach bus trip, about 2.5 hours north to Anchorage, where we flew out. First and foremost, to the people of Vancouver, your city is wonderful. Your city is expensive as fuck, but it's wonderful. Love it. Here's an interesting thing I brought back from Vancouver. Tom, it's just a 7-Eleven bag. There was a 7-Eleven around the corner from the hotel we were staying in. You when you do a cruise, you fly in the day before, so you don't even risk missing the cruise. I went down to the 7-Eleven to get something, and the gentleman, we were talking about how we were Americans, and he goes, "Would you like a bag for your items?" I'm like, "Yeah." Didn't even think twice. I didn't know that they charge for bags in Canada, and he goes, "I'll tell you what, I'll give you one for free instead of charging you for it," because he could tell we were from America, and we didn't realize that was a thing. And so this is my free 7-Eleven bag from downtown Vancouver, right across the street, or kitty corner, I believe, or maybe not, within a block or so of the White Spot, where we went and had a burger. Decent burger. My free Canadian 7-Eleven bag. Yeah, I brought the motherfucker all the way home because I just needed to make a video about it. The Inside Passage was fine. Ketchikan was fantastic. I got this shirt from Ketchikan. I'll be doing another video specifically about this shirt and a couple of other shirts I got from a shop on Creek Street in Ketchikan. Wonderful sights in Ketchikan. Sitka, we chose not to get off the ship. We always try to pick at least one port day on a cruise where we want to stay on the ship and just do like a pool day, because when you're on these cruises and you're in a port, everybody files off the ship and goes and does excursions and shit, and nobody's on the ship. So in Sitka, we stayed on, and we had the pool to ourselves for hours. It was fantastic. Then we went to Juno, and we did a whale watching tour and Alaskan salmon bake. First, you go out and do the whale watching, and then you go to the salmon bake. I'll have videos on both, much longer videos detailing both of those, showing you the footage of the whale watching that we did, which was amazing. Some of the whales were just right off the boat. Some of them were very far away. We got to see various other wildlife, and then the salmon bake was fantastic. Juno was great. When we went to Huna, we did there's a gondola ride to the top of the mountain. I believe it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,300 feet up, and then there's like a wildlife tram up on the mountain where they talk to you about the area. It really was a very nice excursion, a very informative excursion. I'll have another video about that. I'll have a video about the whale watching. I'll have a video about the salmon bake. I'll have a video about our day in Ketchikan. I'll have a video about our gondola ride in Huna. And then the last day of the cruise, we went to Disenchantment Bay and saw Hubbard Glacier. It's pretty cool. They very slowly and quietly pull into the bay and kind of turn the ship so that people from all sides of the ship can get a view of Hubbard Glacier, while a naturalist narrates over the ship what we're looking at, what we're seeing. I'll have another video about that in detail. And then we got off the ship in Seward. Like I said, fantastic cruise. very much geared toward older people, very few kids, and unfortunately for us, that meant much more rudeness, more people just cut in line, talk to the staff like they're assholes. We saw a lot of that from the passengers. The crew was great. The ship was great. I think the food was probably better on Norwegian and Royal Caribbean. Not probably, it was better than on Celebrity. Not that the food was bad on Celebrity. The ship was clean. It was fine. It was wonderful. Our room attendant was great. We loved the cruise. Just some of the rudest people we've ever vacationed with. Just don't understand why people... You're on vacation. You don't need to be an asshole. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But to the people in all of the towns we went to, thank you for your hospitality. It was one of those bucket list cruises that we wanted to get checked off before our time on this planet expires, and we'll probably go back and do another one. We'll probably do a little bit more research into what line, cruise line, and what ship we want to go with. More specifically, what side of the ship, where on the ship to get the best views. Depending on if you're going to do an Alaskan cruise, my advice to you would be this: figure out which way is it going. Is it going north or is it coming back south? Are you coming out of Anchorage and going down to Vancouver or Seattle? Are you leaving Seattle or Vancouver and going north? And then figure out which side of the ship you want to be on for the best views, and where on the ship you want to be at from a view standpoint as to how obstructed or not obstructed. We had a great cabin, great views. We were on the ocean side, but because we went through a lot of islands and straits, we had a ton of great scenery. We had orcas off the balcony. I had video on that on my main account before it got banned. I'll put more videos of it up on YouTube. I'm talking about my main TikTok account that got banned. It was a once-in-a-lifetime trip, and now we are going to... It's not going to happen for next year by any stretch of the imagination, or maybe even the year after that, but we are going to now plan a trip to Hawaii February-ish, so that we can go to see those very same whales that we saw feeding in Alaska, birthing and calving in Hawaii. So watch for more detailed videos to follow. And another great vacation in the books. Another few pins for the map back there, which I've already pinned. And we'll have some photos of Renee and I going up on the wall here from Alaska and Canada. And Canada, we're going to have to come back and see you as well. You guys were way too nice.